So for day two, two-way tables, we're going to go over the key concepts, and then we're going to take a look at the cool down called Oh Dear and see how some of these concepts apply to the problem we find there. So, number one, in statistics, a variable is a characteristic that can take on different values. So whenever we're looking at a situation and there's a variety of things going on, each of those things we call it a variable. Now, you're probably used to thinking of variables in terms of just numbers, but these are often categorical variables when we're doing some data analysis. That just means that whatever it is that you're looking at, age, cell phone or not a cell phone, those are categories. They're not actual numbers that we're working with. And we do have numbers here that deal with how many of each of those categories, but we're not looking at numerical data like test scores or typing speed. It's categorical data. So data from two categorical variables dealing with the one group of people or one situation can be organized using a two-way table. They call it a two-way table because it goes two ways. We have this over here talking about whether they have a cell phone or not a cell phone, and then we talk about the age right here, and we can see the number breakdown over there. Now, each of these numbers represents the specific number of 10 to 12-year-olds that do not have a cell phone, so that would be 35 of them. Now, if you take all of these numbers and add them together, that'll represent every single person who responded to this survey, which they tell us is 170. I'm not going to do the math on that, but it does work out. Second thing that we really need to talk about is that in these categories, they'll never overlap each other. You cannot have someone who's 10 to 12 years old and 13 to 15 years old at the same time. Each individual is included in only one of the cells. So let's take a look at the cool down real quick. So forest rangers record information about some of the deer in the forest they oversee. Use the two-way table to answer the questions about the deer they observed. How many of the observed deer younger than 1 year old have antlers? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the younger than 1 year old column. We're going to look at the antler row, and where those two cross each other is where we're going to find the solution to that. Now, this next question right here, how many of the observed deer are 1 year or older? So remember how I said on the previous one that if you added all the numbers together, you would get the total number of responses. This is not asking for the total number of responses, but it is asking you to find some sort of a total for 1 year or older. So you would want to go up to this chart and find all the boxes that have a number in it that represent deer 1 year or older. Add those up. Now this last question, actually a lot of students in when I was doing feedback got this wrong. And what most people took this to mean was, a lot of them said 4. And I understand what they meant by that as I was going through. It took me a while to figure it out, but I got it. What they're trying to say is that there are 4 different categories here, but that's not the question that's being asked. The specific question that's being asked is how many deer are included in the table. Looking at all the numbers in our table, how many deer total did we gather data on? I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions still, make sure you send me a message or come to WinTime or something like that. Have a great day.